Good morning. It's Saturday, June the 25th. Sarah and I are in the Buckhorn Wilderness along the Dungeness River. We're about to cross over into Olympic National Park. The ultimate goal of this outing is the summit of Mount Deception, the second highest peak in the Olympic range. The summer weather is finally here. It's beautiful out, crystal clear skies, not a cloud around. It's getting warmer up there. It's really, really cool down here in this beautiful forest that we're in right now. And the weather is going to stick around all weekend into Monday. It's a perfect weather window for a climb. We've already covered roughly a mile from the main trailhead at the Dungeness River. We've walked along the river, and we are now at this trail junction. We have another 6.2 miles to go from this spot up to world famous Royal Lake. We're really excited to be here. We have some history behind this basin. It's been, I think, since 2016, the last time we were here. We tried climbing Deception then. We went the wrong way, followed the wrong snowshoe up, and we got cliffed out along the ridge of the Meadows. So we had to turn around, and we didn't have that much time to try the summit again. We've just been doing lots of other things in between, and we finally took this opportunity and made this choice to come up and try this peak another time. So here we are. Regardless of what happens, it's really beautiful up there. We have a permit to camp at Upper Royal Basin. We're going to spend one night there. Can't wait to get up to the high country. I love the Olympics. Here we go. This hike begins with a nice gradual ascent up the Royal Creek drainage. Soon we'll be crossing over into Olympic National Park. It feels good to be back in these Olympic forests. It smells so sweet in this little microclimate we're in right now. It just feels so good to be back. I don't know what it is about this place. Pretty good blowdown covering the trail, probably from this last winter's avalanche cycle. So we're just going to navigate it through it really quick, hopefully emerge on the other side. You can see where this avalanche would have come from, right down this gully here. Took out everything in its path. Because the Olympics are so close to the ocean, surrounded on three sides by salt water, the sub-alpine zone begins roughly around 4,500 feet. And it's even lower than where it starts in the Cascades. And we're starting to pop out into these gorgeous, lush mountain meadows now. Royal Lake should be just up there after that next little ascent we got to do. We got turned around by a snowbank coming off of the trail, and it kind of led us into the vicinity of these meadows right here. We are right next to the patrol cabin up here in Royal Basin. The lake is up there somewhere beyond those trees. We're gonna have to hit it up on the way back down tomorrow. And it's just a typical snow melted meadow up here in the Olympics. It's really gorgeous, surrounded by these fantastic peaks. We're really close to the Upper Basin. We're just taking a quick break right here before the last push. We actually have to head, we're going to be up in there around that corner there. That's where we'll be setting up camp. Can't even see Mount Deception yet until the last minute. Kind of going to head off in that direction through the trees past Shelter Rock. And then there's one more big up for the day. We can start looking for a place to set up camp. We are moving past the famed Shelter Rock. Large boulder down here in Royal Basin. We're probably going to hit continuous snow now. And we're going to make our way up into the next Upper Basin, and then there's one more little up after that. Should be up in the break in that trees up there. We have hit continuous snow in this Upper Basin. We have switched our trail shoes for our climbing boots. And we have one more little ascent to go until we're in the Upper Basin. We have to go up that snowfield right there and then hang a right. And you can see Mount Deception starting to appear. And it's just a really gorgeous spot right here. This meadow is starting to melt out. Springtime up here in the mountains. Crystal clear blue skies. The sound of the blue grouse over there. It is 2:30 p.m. and we have arrived at Upper Royal Basin. Last time we were here there was not nearly as much snow, and that was over the 4th of July weekend. And we're a week before that. Just look at those Olympic peaks heaving with snowpack still in late June. It's really reflective. It's really hot. Can't wait for it to cool down in this basin. It's going to be gorgeous. It is gorgeous, all of it. We just got to find a place here to set up our tent. Alright, we are making our tent platform. We have decided to put our camp right here. We're going to see if it fits in this little spot we've cleared out. The tent pad is dug out and the tent fits nicely. It's all staked down and camp is set. It's quite a spectacular setting to be spending the night in. It is the hottest part of the day right now. It's very sweltering. And we're going to go seek some shade over there in that grove of trees where it's cooler. We're going to eat some lunch in there. We moved over to this grove of trees, and I have to say it's much more comfortable in here for relaxing. It's easily 10 to 20 degrees cooler than it is just out there. I'm gonna have some lunch. We are having duck and goose pepperoni with sliced cheese and wheat thins as a energy-rich snack to get us ready for tomorrow. Got lots of protein and fat in there. Definitely going to be needing that. No matter where you're at in North America, the call of the robin is always there. We are emerging from the tent after a lunch and a nap into different afternoon conditions right now. The sun has gone behind the needles over there, and there is no more intense solar radiation beating on us. And the temperature has dropped significantly just in the last couple of minutes. It's kind of a magical moment right now. There's kind of like a game of shadows going on over here, with the last beams of sunlight hitting those Olympic peaks over there. And the contrast between the shadow and the light. One major benefit to sitting around base camp all day is you get to look at the route for tomorrow and pick it apart mentally and kind of plan your method of attack. We have to get up and over. There's a stagnant glacier on the other side over there. And last time we were here, we climbed up this way. We came over here and we went up this way and we ended up at that little saddle. And then we went across this ridge. We got stuck right up in there and couldn't really go past it. A lot of exposure, so we turned around and came back. This year, after further research, I realized what we got to do is we got to go up here, and we're going to pick our way through these snowfields here and end up right there at that notch. And then there's a nice, or supposedly, a mellower slope on the other side that drops down to the Deception Glacier, which isn't crevassed. It should just be a mellow snow slope. And then we're going to end up going around all of this. There's a snow slope, or we can go around Gilhooney Tower, and we're going to come up the backside of Deception, and the summit is up there somewhere. I don't think that's it. It might be beyond that, but we're going to be behind this ridge of rock right here. The other way to go up is the Honeymoon Route, but it looks really steep and soft, and we don't know if we want to do that. We think this is going to be enough exposure. There's definitely 45-degree or greater snow slopes up there that are fairly steep with rock bands below you, so any type of slip and fall is definitely going to hurt. So it's not without its dangers, for sure. Now that the sun has gone down, it is a completely different environment up here in Upper Royal Basin. This hanging valley is a perfect example of a cirque valley. You're surrounded pretty much on three sides by very steep walls, and they're all covered with snow. And during the high solarization of mid-afternoon, it was very hot in here. It was very bright. Couldn't take our sunglasses off without blinding ourselves, and couldn't sit in the sun directly just because there was radiation coming at you from all different angles up in here. It's one of the brightest places I've ever been. There's definitely a ton of snow up in these Olympics right now. Way more than there was last time I was here. Most of the elevation gain is behind us. We figure we climbed probably 3,500 feet or so from the car up here to the upper basin. And that was roughly between 8 to 9 miles of walking. So that's most of the elevation gain. Tomorrow we have the steepest section, but the least amount of elevation gain. We're camped at around 5,750 feet up here. Plan is to wake up between 2 and 2:30. It takes about an hour to get ready and camp. The snow should be nice and firm. It's already chilling off very nicely right now. There's a nice cool mountain breeze coming down behind me. And we would like to set off roughly, around 3 o'clock a.m., between 3 and 4. It's starting to get light up there, up here about that time, and the sun isn't up yet. It is forecasted to be another scorcher tomorrow, even hotter and drier than today. So we would like to get up and get down relatively quickly to escape slushy snow and the intense radiation of the afternoon hours. Definitely want to aim to be down in the forest next to that cool Dungeness River during the hottest part of the day. I'm going to climb down back off this rock and head back to camp and get ready to go to bed. Got an early wake-up call. Really excited to tackle those slopes in the morning. Looks like a lot of fun. See this place from a different perspective. So, see you in the morning. Good night. We're putting crampons on to get ready for these steeper slopes. we climbed up all those steep slopes. We are now at the gap between Martin Peak and Mount Deception. And we are crossing over now to the other side. We're going to drop down to the Stagnant Deception Glacier. Alright, so we're going to drop down here and then we're going to cross this glacier at its head wall. And then we got to go around those towers to a pass that's up over there. And that will allow us to kind of walk up this way on the other side of those peaks. Not much further to go. There's the summit right there. All right, here's the final push to the summit. Just have these last snow slopes to negotiate. We'll be standing on top. All right, here we are on the summit of Mount Deception. The summit sits at 7,788 feet above sea level. It is the second highest peak in the Olympics, and it was more like a little over 2,000 elevation feet gain from our base camp up to the top here. This is awesome. It's like I'm on a sea of peaks. The Olympics are just like the ocean they grew up out of. There's no order to the jumbled mass of peaks all around us. I'm going to give you a view of the Olympics from the summit of Mount Deception. Alright, I'm going to give you a 360 from the summit of Mount Deception. I'll try and name what peaks I can. There's the valley we hiked up to Upper Royal Basin. You can see Puget Sound barely down there in the haze in that valley beyond everything. There you can see the water of Puget Sound. Starting to get views down into Deception Basin. There's Warrior Peak, Outer and Inner Constants. There's Del Monte Ridge, Mount Mystery, Little Mystery, Brothers. Looking south. There's Mount Anderson. Looking off towards the Bailey Range over there, way over there's the Baileys, there's Mount Olympus. Now coming into view over here, we've got Mount Carey, there's Mount Cameron, Lost Pass, Grey Wolf Pass is down there. Hurricane Ridge area. right over there, and with the Needles, Mount Walkinshaw, Clark, and Martin, right over there. And then we got Sarah. What do you think of the summit?
It's pretty awesome. Beautiful views.
Our time on the summit is over, and we are descending back down to the camp. We're going to pack up and head home. Alright, we are back at the Martin Peak Mount Deception Col, and we are descending the final steep section of the climb. We should be down at our camp in no time. We have left Upper Royal Basin, and we are down on the banks of Royal Lake, and it is definitely a regal spot. We're just drying out our stuff, changing clothing for the hike back down to the car. The descent was pretty insane coming down from Mount Deception. We left the summit, the first section coming down from the peak and going around those spires, dropping down onto the Deception Glacier, and then climbing up to the gap between Mount Deception and Martin Peak. It was straightforward. The snow was really good conditions. It wasn't scary at all. But from the gap down to camp, totally different story. It was very hot, for one. It made the snow completely trash. And there was boot pack, but as we were going down the boot pack, it was as if any step was just going to slide away underneath of us. And we in fact did trigger several small, loose, wet avalanches. And those slopes are greater or equal to 45 degrees for sure. There's a lot of objective hazards on that descent that you don't really take into account when you're going up until you're going down. You can see that if you fall and slip and slide on the snow, you don't have a lot of time to arrest yourself before you hit rock band after rock pinnacle, after spire, after sharp needle. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. So we took our time going down. Either turning around and facing the slope and down climbing, or just being really careful facing outwards and down climbing. It's just awkward because your center of gravity pulls you forward on a steep descent. It took us almost as long to get from the summit down to the camp as it took us to go up in the morning. We got down to camp about 11:30, quickly packed up under the scorching midday heat, and then quickly made our way down to this spot right here. And I don't know what's more of a reward. Being able to stand on the summit of Mount Deception, which was pretty awesome. It was a very comfortable perch with nothing but peaks all around you. Puget Sound, we could see glistening down there in the distance. I read that you can't see Mount Deception from Seattle but I could definitely see the skyscrapers of Seattle from Mount Deception. So that tells me you can see the peak from the major metropolitan center of the Puget Sound Valley. You could also see Port of Tacoma. You could see all 5 volcanoes: Mount St. Helens, Adams, Rainier, Glacier Peak, Baker. Don't know how well my camera picked up those details so far away into the sun. We're gonna soak our feet, get some water, and then looking really forward to hiking back down into the nice, cool, cold canopy of those dense primeval forests of the Dungeness.
Yep.